Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has redeployed Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State Ahmed Abdurrahman. In a statement by spokesperson Frank Ubak said Adamu had directed Ali Janga, Commissioner of Police in Bauchi State, to take over the command in Kaduna. According to the new directive, Abu Hamadu, former Commissioner of Police in charge of intelligence, will take charge of Bauchi State. Omalolu BC Benue State Commissioner of Police have been redeployed to the Central Criminal Registry, Lagos, and replaced with Mukada Garba. But said the posting take immediate effect as part of the effort aimed at rejigging the fight against armed banditry, kidnapping, and other sundry crime across the nation, particularly in Kaduna and other contiguous states. The Inspector General of Police Adamu has ordered the immediate redeployment of the Commissioner of Police of Kaduna Command, CP Ahmed Abdurrahman, from the state to the 1st Intelligence Bureau Force, headquarters Abuja. The statement read, the Commissioner of Police, Haji Ali Janga, who until now was the Commissioner of Police in charge of Bauchi, takes over as the new henchman in Kaduna Command. District head of Dara in Katsina State, Musa Umar, has been kidnapped by gunmen. Umar, a former custom officer, is married to the daughter of President Muhammadu Buhari's sister. He is also reported to be the father of Fatima Musa, wife of Muhammad Abubakar Buhari's aide-de-camp. The police officers are on the trail of the criminals. Witness told the news agency of Nigeria that the kidnappers stormed the home at 7 p.m. and sporadically shot into the air, scaring bypassers who scamper for safety. Umar had just returned from the mosque where he took part in the evening prayer when the incident happened. He was sitting in front of his house with some people when the gun-toting men came. A witness said the kidnapper came in a Peugeot 406 saloon car. After the gunmen left, Dara Council Chairman Malam Haba Mato and hundreds of sympathizers came to Umar's residence to discuss the incident. The acting chairman, the Economic Financial Crime Commission, Ibrahim Magu, has hit a state governor, saying that some of them deliberately fuel insecurity in their state just to collect more money as security vote. He noted that some of the governors now covertly promotes insecurity as justification to inflate their security vote. Magu also alleged that there was a link between corruption, banditry, and terrorism. He spoke in Abuja at the induction program for returning and newly elected state governors held at the presidential villa, Abuja. His allegations were contained in a paper titled Imperative of Fighting Corruption, Terrorism, Financing in Nigeria, which he presented during the program. Magu told the section that a debate on the legality of security vote enjoyed by the governors was ongoing, but he chose to refrain from joining the fray. On corruption and insurgency, he argued mass poverty in the region, due in part to corruption by the ruling elite, is largely to blame for the ease with which Islamists were able to recruit fighters to sustain their aggression against the Nigerian state. EFCC boss also gave the figure of the recovery made by the agency between 2017 to 2018. According to him, in 2017, the recovery were 473.65 billion naira. In 2019, the sum of 236.16 billion naira was recovered, according to Magu. No fewer than 523 children are detained in various prisons in Anambra State, the National Human Rights Commission has said. Anambra State Coordinator of NHRC, Nkechi Ugwai, stated this at Onitsha Prison during an interface with some juvenile inmates. Ngwai said the visit was in commemoration of the African Pre-Trial Days 2019 theme decriminalization of petty and minor offenses. She's added that the focus was to gather details of the inmates whose offenses fell within the classification. She says such cases involve no fewer than 523 inmates in Akwa and Onitsha prison. While describing the number of juvenile cases recorded as quite high, she assured that the inmates whose cases are being compiled will have reason to smile at the end of the exercise. The criminalization of petty offenses is expected to reduce the challenges that pre-trial detention poses on the prison system and society. Kano State government has abolished the dichotomy between the BSc and higher national diploma HND holders in the state. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje disclosed this in Kano during the Workers' Day celebration held at Sani Abacha Stadium. The governor explained that the decision to abolish the dichotomy was part of his administration effort towards boosting the civil servants' morale. Ganduje also reaffirmed his commitment to paying the 30,000 naira minimum wage. He said his government had concluded arrangement for the implementation of the new wage. He said his administration was working assiduously to enhance the workers' welfare. The chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress in the state, Kabiru Minijuba, commended the state government for enhancing workers' welfare. He urged the state government to pay allowances for workers of state tertiary institutions as applicable to their colleagues in the federal civil service. The Nigerian Senate has directed its Committee on Youth and Sport to investigate the appointment of Brigadier General S. Ibrahim as the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) by the Chief of Army Staff against the provision of the Agency Act. Recall that the Nigerian Army has announced S. Ibrahim as the new Director General of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) to take over from the Suleiman Kazauri, the current DG, with immediate effect. In a signal sent by Chief of Army Staff, Senate argued that the Ibrahim posting as a new NYSC DG was illegally done, as the Army does not have the power to appoint a Director General for the NYSC scheme. The upper chamber also argued that the Nigerian Army violated the law in appointment of the new NYSC DG, saying that such power is exclusive to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces as provided in NYSC Act, which is the scheme enabling act. This was squared to the point of order moved by Senator Dino Melai during the plenary.
And through signal, appointed his replacement. Mr. President, the Armed Forces Act did not in any way empower any other person to appoint the Director General of NYSC other than the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This Senate is also aware that previous Director Generals of the NYSC, including the immediate past DG, was appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari and former presidents of this country. Nigeria is not a banana republic, and we should not allow a constitutional country that is governed by laws and legislation to be taken for granted. If we allow this, tomorrow, Mr. President, you will be surprised the announcement of the removal of the Senate President can come from road safety and its replacement by same institution. So, Mr. President, we should not lay a precedent is the law. But I'm not going to belabor us with too much talk, Mr. President. My single prayer is, Mr. President, that the Committee on Youth and Sports of the Nigerian Senate investigate this matter and report back to the Senate within 1 week, so that we must lay a foundation that once we have laws, once we have rules, once we have conventions, they must be respected, they must be adhered to. NYSC is not a formation of the Nigerian Army. It is an institution created by law, an enactment of the National Assembly.
The president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, who presided over the plenary, however, gave the Senate Committee on Youth Development 3 weeks to investigate and report back to the House their finding.
Let the committee establish whether this was what happened, and based on the committee's recommendation, we can now take action. So let us leave the matter like that.
Nigerian Senate, as part 2019 appropriation bill, this followed a presentation of a report by the chairman of Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Danjuma Goje. The budget was increased from 8.83 trillion naira presented by President Muhammadu Buhari to 8.916 trillion naira. The figure is higher than the what Buhari presented to the joint section of the National Assembly on December 19, 2018. Senator Goje said the need to provide for the severance benefit of the outgoing lawmaker, their aid, provision for the National Assembly orientation program, election, and other accounted for about 86 billion naira increase.
Having thoroughly examined the reports and recommendations of the subcommittees and inputs received from the public at the National Budget public hearing, the committee hereby recommend that the Senate do consider and approve a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 8,906,099,373 naira only, of which 502,892,964 naira only is for statutory transfers. 2,254,014,113,092 naira only is for debt service. 4,52,940,383,684 naira only is for the current non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 2,094,950,790,632 naira only is for the contribution to the development fund for capital expenditure. In line with the provisions of Section 318 of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, this bill will run for a course of 12 months, starting from the date it is assented to.
The chairman of the committee, Danjuma Goje, announced that the 10 billion naira be provided to assist the victim of Zamfara's crisis and should be added to the total figure.
I want to bring additional prayer, which will be included in this bill. Following the resolution of this Senate, that a provision of 10 billion naira should be provided to assist the victims of the Zamfara crisis, the Operation Committee hereby recommend that 10 billion naira be added to the already stated aggregate expenditure, and that 10 billion naira will be included in the service-wise vote. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, there is a slight increase in the budget deficit. This is as a result of the provision for the severance benefits of the outgoing legislators and legislative aides, the induction and orientation, as well as inauguration of new legislators, all of which occur only once in 4 years, but were inadvertently not captured in 2019 budget proposal. There was also the need to provide more funds for the security and intelligence agencies to deal with additional emerging unforeseen security challenges in the country.
In his remark, the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, who thanked his colleague particularly for their understanding, hoped that with the passage of the budget, the executive will also ensure full implementation for the benefit of Nigerians as a whole.
Act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation of the total sum of 8,916,964,099,373 naira only, of which 502,058,892,965 naira only is for statutory transfers. 2,254,014,113,092 naira only for debt service. 4,065,940,383,684 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 2,094,709,632 naira only is for the contribution to the Development Fund for Capital Expenditure for the year ending on the 31st day of December 2019, third reading. The bill is read the third time and passed. I want to thank our colleagues, particularly for their understanding and being able for us to be able to meet today's deadline in passing the bill, and thank the Committee of Appropriation, and hope that with this budget passed, that the executive will also ensure full implementation of the budget for the benefit of Nigerians as a whole.
The Senate has, however, adjourned to Tuesday next week.